Candles, fibs, crosses, EMAs. It's the tools of the day trade. Don't be a noob and trade on websites that don't give you BitBoy bonuses. Click the link in the description to get set up on ByBit or Femex and get an insane sign-up bonus for being part of the BitSquad. Leverage trade responsibly, but do it the right way on Femex or ByBit. Bonus details in the links below.
BitBoy Crypto Morning TA. Good morning, everybody. It's October 28, 2021. My name is Matty B. This is Scaramucci's. This is your Morning TA. A brief glimpse into the crypto markets, where the sun's shining, where the wind's blowing, all the humble opinion of this piano. Zamboni, bringing the data. The FOMO index has dropped to 66 from yesterday's 73. Bitcoin dominance is at 44.3%. 24-hour volume is at 180 billion, and the overall market cap is 2.53 trillion. Give or take 100 million. Over on the 4-hour chart, we saw price action find support at 58K, testing it on almost every candle before finding some oompah and heading up. After this week's dip, we now have to face the 20 and 50 as resistance. And they are the quintessential bad winners. You see, when there's support, they have nothing but nice things to say. Like, hey, we never hang out anymore. You want to go for some drinks? I miss you, smiley face. And all that other BS. But when the resistance, they get salty, forget who their friends are or were. They become that bar owner who was a loser his entire life, became a doctor or a dentist, and instead of investing his new wealth into crypto or real estate, he opens up a bar. Great idea. And now he sits at the front door and picks and chooses who gets in. I know it's gross, but very common. And that's what we're up against with the 20 and the 50, but not really the 50. The 50's a good old boy who just wants to go fishing with ya. But the 20, he's salty. Once we get past the 20 at about 61K, I'd like to see a high five with Rodney Dangerfield up at 62K, then a quick Dusseldorf down to the 20 to test it and put that salty bar owner in his place and tell him that they'll always be a loser. He just kind of has a nice bar right now, but who cares? And then back up to 63K. Piano Matty B, are these all $1,000 moves you're talking about here? Yeah, they are. Nice big round numbers, and thanks for asking. Hi, Nancy. How you doing? Is that the MACD curling up there to boot? Hi, Diane. Now over on the daily after drop and below the 20 moving average, we are in the midst of a small rally up and over, and I'm always amazed at how many people can go from euphoria to the sky is falling. Did we wick some candlesticks? Sure did. But we aren't talking about the old wives' tale anymore, even though it turns out it's the most accurate TA in this bull run so far. But zoom out and have a gander at her. We are clearly in a huge uptrend. We've just had a textbook 38% fib retracement. And these are, as a dad, my favorite because they are reliable, consistent, and most importantly, quiet. And that's my type of anything. It's like those videos of dads catching their kids as they fall off a table or a swing and they just keep going like nothing ever happened. Skoo-doo, you do-do-do. And let's not forget the bull flinant. That's a combo between a flag and a pennant. They're both bullish continuation patterns, and we see it right here. Our breakout target is about 62K, and it looks like we might tickle that fancy today. A quick look at the weekly, we see a shooting star last week. And right now we are sitting in the loving arms of a spinning top. Now, obviously, that will change by the week's end, but it's telling us that right now we may have hit market Xanadu. Well, the bears are panting, and the bulls are licking their lips. With all the hubbub about new ETFs being fired out on the reg, I personally don't care. On one hand, it's great for adoption and recognition, and in some ways, legitimization. But unless it's a spot ETF backed by actual Bitcoin, it's more like when Kiss took off their makeup for their 1984 hit Lick It Up. So much hype, so much anticipation. And then the video came out, and it was no big deal. In fact, it kind of marked the end of the Kiss mystique for me anyways. And once you see Ace Frehley without makeup, well, you can never really unsee that, can you? So remember, we're playing the same game as our psychopathic elected lead. Sidearm snap. That's right, it's the long game. So zoom out and have a fantastic day.